This screencast will discuss confidentiality in healthcare. More than 120 workers at a Los Angeles hospital looked at celebrities' medical records and other personal information without permission between June 2006 and January 2007. Consequently, 3 staffers at the UCLA Medical Center continued to look at the confidential records of a well-known individual even after the crackdown of record-peeking took place. There were 127 workers who peeked into celebrities' medical records without permission, leading to several firings, suspensions, and warnings. The report also detailed the case of one employee who looked at the records of about 900 patients without any legitimate reason and viewed Social Security numbers, health insurance information, and addresses from April 2003 to May 2007. This violation of patient privacy led to the employees being fired, suspended, and written up. Some are even facing criminal charges. The patients concerned were notified of the violation. Changes were made because of this breach. Updated computer systems and staff training are some of the changes that were made. These were very blatant HIPAA violations. HIPAA, the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, was enacted in 1996 to protect patient health information, PHI, from just such an instance. The open, blatant violation of these policies showed everyone that there needed to be more training done in regard to PHI and the proper handling of it. Just knowing about HIPAA wasn't enough. There needed to be in-depth training on what a violation was and what the consequences were and why the consequences were so severe. It is also vitally important that all employees understand what information is considered PHI and what a HIPAA violation entails. The HIPAA privacy rule was enacted for just such an occasion as the one previously spoken of. The HIPAA privacy rule establishes national standards to protect individuals' medical records and other personal health information and applies to health plans, healthcare clearinghouses, and those healthcare providers that conduct certain healthcare transactions electronically. The rule requires appropriate safeguards to protect the privacy of personal health information and sets limits and conditions on the uses and disclosures that may be made of such information without a patient's authorization. The rule also gives patients rights over their health information, including rights to examine and obtain a copy of their health records and to request corrections. The HIPAA security rule establishes national standards to protect individuals' electronic personal health information that is created, received, used, or maintained by a covered entity. The security rule requires appropriate administrative, physical, and technical safeguards to ensure the confidentiality, integrity, and security of electronic protected health information. HIPAA requires that both covered entities and business associates provide HIPAA training to members of their workforce who handle PHI. This means that even small doctors' offices need to train their personnel on HIPAA. Doctors need to be trained, nurses need to be trained, business associates and their contractors must have training. Basically, anyone who comes into contact with protected health information must be trained. We recommend that the training lasts no longer than 20 to 40 minutes for privacy and 20 to 40 minutes for security. The biggest reason for this is when providing HIPAA training, don't overtrain. Many employees may have functions with only a limited involvement with patients or PHI. If an employee is not involved in providing notice to patients or in providing patients with access to their records, they don't need training in these topics. And any training longer than 20 to 40 minutes, you lose your audience and they will just tone out. They will just tone out on you and they won't remember anything you said. The most common and important HIPAA privacy topics to train on include identifying PHI, the minimum necessary rule, the rules about when and how PHI may be disclosed, the importance of confidentiality, avoiding snooping even when one has access to PHI, and the need to keep an accounting of disclosures. Patients' rights and authorization are also important topics for many employees at covered entities. Basic information about business associates obligation is important for employees at the business association offices. The training should also discuss the consequences of failing to follow the HIPAA privacy rule, how people can be victimized by medical identity theft, how people can lose trust, how organizations can be penalized by the Health and Human Services and other regulators for violation, and how employees can be penalized too by the organization, by civil and criminal penalties under HIPAA, and by state law. I also believe that it is important to motivate, not just educate. It isn't effective to just throw a bunch of do's and don'ts at employees. They need to understand why the rules matter. HIPAA privacy and security rules are designed to protect people. They are designed to reduce risk. A privacy or security incident can be devastating to an organization's reputation. People can be harmed, millions of dollars can be lost, and many other employees at the organization will suffer a lot of stress and a lot of sleep cleaning up the mess. People should be taught that good privacy and security practices can help them personally too, because the things that you learn in your HIPAA training classes will also do you in good stead in your personal lives, and it would help you to keep your family and yourselves from possible harm. Thank you and have a nice day.